What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
This is you as you, not as you as a worm.
But have I had the training?
Oh, for
Oh.
No, well, I've said before, haven't I, about maybe having a go at an operation.
I don't know why it leaps from where. It leaps from no ambition, where if he could have a job, it would his best job he's ever had is a paper round, and if he could have a job, he'd like go to the cobbler once a week and then walk a dog. To I'd like to have a go at thoracic surgery.
No, I'm just saying, I bet it's like we do this, and you know, some people like listening to it and what have you, and you go, fair enough, but I never feel like I'm doing anything of any worth.
No, you're absolutely right there.
But if you're going into like an hospital, which are places that are pretty miserable anyway, as an office space, not only have you got to go in that building and work in it, but you've then got the pressure of changing a lung or whatever I've said before. Right?
Changing a lung, yeah.
But I'd like to have a go at it so I can say...
You've done it.
I've done that.
So, under what circumstances, in what world, do you think anyone's going to let you have a go at changing a lung and that? Jim will fix it?
No, I'm just saying the
Comic
way...
relief?
But the way the world is, and the way that there's more and more people, more and more doctors are needed. I mean, it's already happening now that people are doing jobs that they're not really qualified for because they get sort of, what's the word? Sort of uppered too early.
Uppered.
Uppered! I love the fact it's basic language. It's like, it's unbelievable. Uppered.
Do you know what I mean?
Promoted.
Yeah, promoted.
Yeah.
They get promoted.
I prefer
too early.
uppered.
Uppered's great.
So
Why was I not uppered? Unbelievable.
So do you know what I mean? I think because more and more people are knocking about, we need more and more doctors.
Yeah.
You get a job in a doctor's, you're going to be promoted sooner now, I think.
Yeah. Well, what I'd do is I'd probably upper you, and then what's the word? You go away them.
I think it is you go away them.
You leave the door. You leave the door. You fire them. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. So I'd upper you and go away the doctor, if anything.
But I've been to, you know how I don't like going to the doctors and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you're always scared that they might investigate below the bridge.
Yeah, but I checked on that before. I signed up to it, and then they said, right, before we can take you on as a patient, you've got to have a health check, right? Which I thought was odd, because it's almost like saying, if you're ill, we can't be having you coming here, right? But I said, right, okay, fair enough. What is this health check? And they said, oh, you know, we just check your body out and make sure you're fit and healthy. And I thought, that isn't enough information. You know, I want to know if it's the old finger trick, or and I said, what do you mean though? When you said health check, what do you do? And she said, oh, it's just, I think she knew what I was getting at. And she said, oh, it's just the blood pressure, your height, your weight. That's about it. So I went and had it and stuff. But you had to, before you sort of said, right, I want this doctor, they give you loads of forms to fill out, right? And one of the things they did was, if you die, what do you want to give away? Right? Like a donor.
Mm.
And what have you, and I thought, I really thought about it for 40 minutes or so. I didn't just rush into it. I was sat there thinking, you know, if I'm dead, does it matter and stuff? But I was really concerned when it said about the eyes.
Right.
Right. Why? What do you mean? What? Because can they have your eyes after you die?
It was. I think it was fourth on the list.
Why do you care about giving your eyes away when you're dead?
Just because of that thing of, you know, we don't know for sure yet. I know that you poo-poo it, but the afterlife thing.
So why, in an afterlife, would you want your eyes more than your liver and your kidneys and your lungs and your heart?
Because ghosts don't eat, do they? So you don't need all your liver and your kidneys and stuff, because they're only there to sort your food out. But your eyes, if you're a ghost, I don't want to be a blind ghost. Because you're around forever then, aren't you? Once you're a ghost, that's it. So the idea of being blind when you're alive, you go, well, all right, then maybe in the afterlife I might be treated to a pair of eyes. But the fact of wandering about, dead for years, bumping into stuff...
Oh, God! Oh, it's amazing!
So,
that's an amazing image!
So I didn't tick that box.
But why? I don't understand. In your theory of the afterlife, why is it that this ghostly Carl, why can he survive without a heart, but he can't survive without eyes? Why? Do you see what I mean? Surely, if you're this ghostly apparition, you can just see everything and you can do everything. You don't need
because
the body.
No,
because you're a ghost.
Yeah, I know, but I think when you're a ghost, say like how they've seen ghosts in.
Right, could I just say now for any listeners, this is not the thoughts and beliefs of the management. There is no such thing as ghosts. I do not believe in ghosts. I do not believe in ESP or any mumbo jumbo. Carry on, Carl. So when there's a ghost, yeah.
When they see ghosts in like old castles and stuff,
Yeah.
they've had their head cut off because they've been up to no good, like years ago.
But they're carrying it around normally under their arm.
That's what I'm saying. It hasn't reattached itself. So if you take the eyes out,
But Carl, how is this ghostly creature able to function? It doesn't have its head on anyway. It's carrying it under its arm. So the suspicion is it doesn't need its head.
no, it does.
It just happens to be carrying it around because it
No, the
wants to keep it with it.
The
And
ghost is always in the last condition that it was in when it was in.
Who
is
makes these rules?
The way you are in your last bit of life is how you are as a ghost forever, even in the fashion. Like I say, the ghosts that you see never wear modern clothes, so it's always the Victorian stuff. Now, if they could change it, they would, but they can't because they stuck with it. So that's
Why
what I'm
did you
saying
see
with the eyes.
cavemen ghosts? When did ghosts start? They didn't kick in till about 1830, did they? What if you die when you're having a rectal examination? Are you always bent forward with your trousers around your ankles and someone's finger up your
But
arse?
why would you die when you're having that done? That's why I'm not having it done. If that's you saying.
No. But you might have both been suddenly killed in a terrible disaster.
Yeah, a meteorite hit you.
That's when you get the moaning ghosts, isn't it? They're the ones who aren't happy.
So you're going round bent forward.
Going,
You've got a
"Oh."
doctor's finger up your arse,
Yeah.
and what are you doing?
You're sort of going, oh, and that's when you have to get the vicar round.
What do you mean?
They have to put you to rest and what have you, don't they?
And what does a vicar do when he's going? So I get the vicar round. It's years later. It's 100 years later. You're around this doctor's surgery, and there's people coming, and the doctor there, the new doctor there, and it's 2073, and they go, Vicar. They go, Vicar, there's a strange ghostly apparition. It looks like an old doctor, right? And he's got his fingers up this sort of like little. It's like a chimpanzee, but with a shaved head.
No, but the doctor wouldn't be. Are you saying the doctor dies as well?
Yeah,
as
they
you?
die. Yeah,
you both
yeah,
died.
you die at the same time with his finger up your ass, and so you're forever having a little rectal examination with your little trousers around your ankles.
Well, that's when it'd be best not to have your eyes.
Questions for Carl, just to sort of try and tap into his brain, see what's going on there.
Yep.
The questionnaire that is often featured at the end of the TV programme Inside the Actor's Studio. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Is that how it works?
Oh,
No.
What do you mean? What's the question?
Well, I don't know. You hear so many other things that you have to go through other gates. I can't imagine him being on the door, is what I'm saying. If he owns a place, what's he doing there? He could put anyone on it.
It's St. Peter, isn't it, who's normally minding the gates, famously.
Right, so it's him asking me.
Okay, well, let's say it's St. Peter.
No. You go through the gate. Peter goes, "Oh, you're expected. He's got an appointment. We're going through to God. Go through a few doors. Go up top floor. Right past the executive washroom into his big office. Okay, that overlooks the universe.
So what?
So you've gone in to see God, it's an audience with God, you've died, you've gone to heaven, and what would you like God to say to you at that point?
Probably just say, you've done well and that in your life. You never did anybody any harm. So, welcome to heaven. Any problems, give us a shout. Here's a little layout of like a little map. It's kind of like.
I love this. This is a great answer. And my favourite one is you never did anyone any harm. That's great. That's a brilliant thing for God to say.
Yeah.
So hang on, he's giving you a little map.
So he's got a little map of the area.
Map,
It's
and he'll
big.
sort of say, this is where you go for this is where you go for that. I'd probably ask him about the ghost situation. I'd say, am I now a ghost then? Or is this just like another planet that I've come onto?
Right.
I don't know if he'd answer that. I don't know if he'd be sort of a bit,
Bit cagey.
yeah, a little bit like, well, I don't want to panic you and stuff. I'd say, right, is it right that I can see past family and that? Because to be honest, I'd probably prefer to stay away.
He doesn't even want to.
No, but because the thing is, if you've
that's
done
amazing.
I've done all that in this life, so it's about moving on to another life and meeting different people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point? It's just
Yeah.
like the same all over again, but everywhere's white. I mean, I don't know if it is like
Do you
this.
think God would like this podcast?
Well, I suppose it just kills half an hour, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but time's not a problem for him, is it?
Yeah, it is, because he lives for ages, so he needs loads of filler. I bet he's, doing stuff that is just like, I'm not really into this, but it's something to do, isn't it?
Sudoku and stuff.
But I think there'll be just as many problems up there as there is here, because at least people are leaving here Whereas up there, that's the thing that I'd be worried about the most, actually, that it's really crowded. Because it's years and years of dead people, isn't it? London does me head in. Up there, it's going to be well busier than that.
What about teenagers, and do you feel that life was better in, say, the 1950s?
I don't know, I wasn't around. So
But you understand what it was like in those days? You've seen Happy Days.
I don't know, people always say, don't they? Old people always say, it's a better life in the 50s. And it's like, yeah, it was for them. Of course it was for them. They're old now. Being old isn't great, is it? So you're just happy with your lot. I suppose I was happiest in about 1984.
Right.
A specific year.
Why?
It
Why
was
was that?
just I was free and happy. Do you know what I mean?
How old were you?
I don't know.
He's just counting on his fingers now.
12.
Right, okay.
And it was just good.
So the happiest days of your life were between the age of 12 and 13?
Yeah, it was good. I had the world ahead of me.
Little did you know your hair was going to fall out and you were going to whinge every minute of the day.
I had my bike. I like messing about my bike. You had your mates. I had a pet magpie.
So you were probably the teenager that you eventually hate?
Probably.
Were you a good lad, law-abiding?
I wasn't bad. I just sort of, just potted about. I mean, when people talk about what was on the telly back then, I don't have that much memory of it because I was always out. I was always playing out.
What were you doing when you were out?
Just playing about, just like on a bike or...
Just riding in a circle endlessly through blizzards,
I loved it.
rain, sleet,
Loved it.
hail.
I never seemed to be in. I was always... When everyone always goes, where were you when Band-Aid was happening? I was always out on my bike. And everything was
Like you and McGregor?
A memory's always sort of like coming in for some orange and looking at the telly and seeing Princess Diana's getting married, and my mum says, have you seen this? And I'm going, oh, I'm going out on my bike. I was always doing that. The only time I was in the house...
This is why you don't know anything, because you never stopped.
Yeah, but this is what being a kid's about.
But
That's
all
what I
the
mean, being
information
free.
you have, Carl, is as though you've gleaned it as you raced by on a bike. It's almost like, every piece of information you have.
Your hair blowing in the wind. Carl, your hair will blow out one day. Oh, don't talk stupid, ma'am.
was easy. So yeah, 12 to 13 was good.
But you see...
And it was all downhill from then, was it?
13, you're a teenager then, aren't you? Life got tough.
Yeah. How did it get tough?
Just straight away when I was 13, my mum was like, oh, it's your 13th birthday, you're a teenager now.
Right.
And she gave us a quid to go and get a cake to celebrate it. Went to the supermarket, got a cake, and I just thought, I don't like the look of this. Don't like the look of the way the future is here.
On his 13th birthday!
Well, you were buying a cake. What did you see at the supermarket?
It was kind of like, I don't know, I suddenly felt grown up. I didn't like it.
But I think you were always about 58, really, with your outlook.
Well, yeah, my mum always said I was old. She said I was an old baby. She said I could frown before I could walk. So they always had a bit of a worried look on my face. Didn't say much, just always listened. My eyes moved about more than I did. Just sat there looking around, looking stressed.
Cure, Lullaby, on NME Radio, with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington.
All right.
Now, straight after your holiday, you got home and then came out to visit me in Boston on the set of my film I was doing. How was that?
Well, I didn't want to do it, did I? He called up and said, do you want to come out? And
Do
I
a
thought,
favour for me. Ricky said, can you do a favour for me? You thought no.
Well, no, I didn't just go no. I sort of said, what is it? And he said, oh, well, you can just have a part. And it's like, what's the point, though? I'm not an actor. I can't act. What's the point? It's a long way to go. So anyway, he said, all right, don't bother. Then a week later, calls back, and he says, bring Suzanne with you, if you want. Our holiday. So I thought, yeah, I could treat Suzanne to that.
I thought a little part for him. They'd probably pay 2 flights.
Yeah.
You know, she's coming out. I thought, share it with friends. I was
I'm a generous guy.
Yeah, so I thought, oh, she'll love that. That'll get me in the good book. So I said, listen, we're going to Boston. She goes, right. Anyway, Ricky books the tickets and that. She can't get time off because we'd just been in Menorca. So they said, hang on, you've just had a week off. You can't go anywhere. So I had to go on my own, right? Which, fair enough. I'd said I'd go by that point. It'd all been booked. The costume that I needed for the film bit had been made. I couldn't get out of it. I was in too deep. Anyway, go there. Boston isn't worth seeing.
Oh.
I mean, you're talking about travelling the world and, opening your eyes and seeing new things. There's nothing to see in Boston. It's Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks. There's nothing else, is there? I'm not being unfair there. I mean, it looks nice. There's nice buildings.
You mean there's not a museum of the weird?
There's they had something to do with tea bags, didn't they? That I told
No,
you,
it's the Boston
hotel.
Tea Party. It wasn't nothing to do with tea
But
bags. It was the Boston Tea Party. That one of the founding events of America.
I know, yeah.
It wasn't something to do with tea bags.
So
But
other than that,
it wasn't chimps. There was no chimps involved in the Boston Tea Party.
For me, I went out for a walk on 2 of the days when I wasn't on to work, and
yeah, only worked for 1 day.
Well,
Got 3 days free,
2.
4 days in a hotel, all paid for. 1 day's work. I mean, it really is. He really is ungrateful.
So anyway, Steve, I dressed up as a caveman in some old animal stuff, which you thought, well,
This was for the film, was it? This wasn't just your natural.
Yeah. So can I just say, it was not real fur. I insisted there was no real fur.
Well, you
used.
say that.
Yeah.
I get back, right, I'm run down because I didn't sleep when I was out there. I'm not very good. If Suzanne's not in the bed, there's something, it's like I feel...
What, she's got to be there to tell you to sleep?
Well,
Close your eyes now, Carl.
it just...
Now, and our ears, stop
Listen
listening.
to my words. Stop, sleep now, ears.
So anyway, so I wasn't sleeping, so I was there for 4 days or whatever. I must have had about
1
3
day,
hours.
1 real day's work filming,
2,
and he was
2
shattered.
really, 2.
He was absolutely shattered. He was weak. He was ill for a week afterwards. I did
was
like
run down.
35 days. You know.
Yeah. So, yeah, but you were sleeping. If you don't sleep, it's basic sort of biology, that. If you don't sleep, you get run down. Sloths never get a flu. Because it's good, isn't it? That's when your body's replenishing.
Stop. Can we just go over that way? Replenishing.
What is it then?
I'm gonna burst. Sloths never get flu because that's when your body's replenishing.
So the thing is, I'm bound to get ill. Steve, you know what it's like. You're always like got a cold and that.
Oh, he's dissing you. Everything's
what's
a
he got to do
diss.
with
I'm just saying because you're a bit of a sickly child, so you don't
Oh, jeez.
I'm only
to go at the looks
understand.
and then
No, only because I'm trying to get him on my side. So anyway, so I'm shattered. I get back, so I think it's a bit weird that this isn't shaking off. And there was some news report about how there's some serious illnesses in planes because stuff goes out the engine and into the...
Oh, yeah, it's people from all over the world with all different things.
Yeah,
all breathing the
so
same
I'm thinking,
air, yeah.
oh, what have I got? You know, it's my luck, innit? So I go to the doctors.
The doctor said, well, you've done a whole day's work, you're not used to that, your body's shut down.
So he said,
You better have a holiday.
Yeah, you need, this is when your body needs replenishing. And I am a doctor, and I know replenishment is one of the best,
Replenishization.
replenishment is one of the best things for sloths.
So I said to him, I said, look, I'm not one to moan. I hardly go to see him.
He went, oh, you.
I hardly see him. I hardly see this fella. So I said, look, I can't shake this cold off. I woke up the other night shaking. And he said, oh, virus. Right? So,
which isn't scary at all, because everything, you know.
well, there's some dodgy virus, isn't
Well,
there?
yeah, but there's some.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah, well,
that's
of course, it's a
why I was.
virus. What else would it? What else would it be?
I don't know. Not a doctor. So I said, oh, when's it going to go? And he said, oh, might be 2 weeks, this one. Seems like a bad one. Quite clammy, he said. So I said, yeah, I feel a bit clammy, yeah. And he said, yeah, you will do. So anyway, so I felt happy about that, and I'm more confident with the doctor because, you know, you've got your vest off and all that, so you think, why not just let him do a bit of a body check? So I said, doctor, whilst I'm here, I think I've got some eczema on my leg. And he goes, let's have a look. And I said, there it is there. And he said, that's not eczema. So you've got a touch of ringworm.
Blimey.
Right? So straight away, anything with a worm in it, you're going, you what?
Yeah.
'Cause it makes it sound worse, doesn't it? I was thinking like tapeworm and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's going, yeah, ringworm, and he saw me panic and he went, don't worry.
You
it's not-
pictured a worm with a giant
Well,
mechanical arm crawling up
he,
your back.
he could see by my face was a little bit like, I've got a worm in my leg. He's going, don't worry, it's not a worm. And I said, how have I got that then? And I reckon it's from this bear suit. That I had
It
to
wasn't.
wear.
It was. Well, it was
It's a
fake
little bit
fur.
weird that I had
No, it was 'cause
bare
you were
boots
lo-
on. I had bare boots on, and
Yeah.
where the bare boot was, I ended up with ringworm on my
Do you
leg.
know why it's where it was? Because the only bit of your leg showing, because you had bare boots on, fake fur, with a fake fur tunic, and the only bit showing was your shin. You were walking around in long grass. You got it from the grass.
Well, no, because I said to him, because I wanted to hear the words bear suit from him. I said,
What's the chances of that?
Yeah.
I said, where...
Doctor, what might I got this from? And then you just shut up and waited for him to say
I said,
bear suit.
it's a little bit weird, isn't it? I said, I thought that died out with rickets, right? because I'd never heard of ringworm since I was a kid. I remember some dirty kid had it at school, and my mum sort of said, don't go near him. So I said, ringworm then, doctor. Where have I got that from? Thinking he'd say...
Have you been wearing a bear suit?
Yeah. Anyway, he said, well, he says gay people get it.
What?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
He did.
Why did he say that to you?
Well, this is what he said. He said gay people. I said, right, tick that off. He said wrestlers.
Why do wrestlers get it?
And I said, I don't understand the connection. I said, I don't know, any gays. I don't know any wrestlers. And he went, well, it's the body, skin rubbing.
Well, why do only gay people get it then? Why don't heterosexual people get it?
Don't know. Didn't quiz him. But then he said, what about...
Did a doctor really say to you, gay people get it?
He might have said, like, homosexuals.
Does this doctor operate from a park bench somewhere?
Sorry,
Does he have a lot of carrier bags with him?
Why would his first thing be ringworm? Gay people get it.
So yeah, I said not gay. I said I don't know any wrestlers. That's a fact. And then he said, have you stroked any bald pets?
Any bald pets?
Bald. He said, have you stroked anything with hair missing? Bald.
Just yourself?
And I said, I can't remember. And I couldn't be bothered.
Sorry, were these all euphemisms? Like, wrestlers get it, wink, do they? Yeah. You stroked the, little bald hairless thing? No, doctor. Okay, gay people get it. Look, are you gay? Are you gay? I'm gay. I'm gay. I want to stroke someone bald.
So I didn't want to get into the bear suit thing, because then he'd be thinking, what's he doing?
No, you've got it.
So wait. So he had a list of he's reading this off a list, was he?
No, he did it from his head. He knew it already. So he didn't have to look at a form or anything. He went ringworm. He's obviously had a few people in there who have had it, and they've gone, ringworm? That's a bit weird. Where have I got that from? And he knew straight away.
So he's had 3 people in there with ringworm.
Popular.
One of them was a wrestler. One of them had a shaved dog. And one of them was a homosexualist. Is this the same doctor who
told me that my nerves were too short for my body?
Yeah.
Different fella. So yeah, ringworm I got from my time in Boston.
Well, that was a heck of a story. I'm beginning to wonder if the reason Suzanne didn't go with you on that trip was not to do with work obligations.
Richard Ashcroft, check the meaning. He's from your neck of the woods, isn't he?
Wigan.
Yeah, we were just discussing
the fact how miserable and mean Carl is. He won't do anyone a favour.
Do favours. I shifted your telly.
Oh, hold on! He shifted my telly. I gave him a television. I gave him a bed. He went, I shifted your bed. No, I gave you a bed. That's how he couches things.
I cashed that bloody cheque you wrote to me.
Unbelievable.
Who's the last person you did a favour for where you weren't expecting something in return?
I'm always treating people. I've told you, if I have a good day, at the end of it, I'll go, do you know what? I'll treat them.
Treat who?
It might be a homeless fella. It might be some charity. I'm sick, honestly, the amount of money I give away
it might be a
like
girlfriend who got a lovely new camera for Christmas, still wrapped up from when it was given to you as a leaving present.
So...
all this stuff about you're doing so much for charity. You honestly tell me, you think you're walking along, you're whistling, oh, I've had a great day, me. Hey, you never have a great day.
No, I've never seen you have a great day. It doesn't matter what, it's unbelievable. You're whinging all the time, miserable. Yeah. Nothing impresses you, nothing at all. The best I've ever heard you was, I was alright at that.
Well, tell us about the last time you had a great day. What was the last great day you had where you thought, oh, I must end this by giving some money to a homeless fella?
I mean, yeah, I don't have a great day. but what I mean is, a day when I go, do you know what? I'm quite content.
That's amazing!
It's a long way from a good day.
That is the equivalent of him skipping along.
No, every night before I nod off, I lie there, and I think, what sort of a day have I had? And I'll go through it, and I'll go, yeah, that was alright.
How boring is that?
No, it's good, you've got to do that, otherwise what was the point of the day? If you're never going to look back on it and go, what have I done? Yeah, that was alright. What's the point of it happening?
But how often do you go, wow, I've really achieved a lot today? Because I remember one day at random you told us, you'd been to the Cobblers and back.
I didn't even know Cobblers still existed.
Yeah, that was a 24-hour period we were talking about there. You kept a diary. It mainly consisted of, had a chip butty in a cafe with Suzanne. And then you talk about an old woman you saw. No, that was your day.
I've made it a thing that I do now, that I like to learn something every day, and then...
Go on, what have you learnt today?
Well, I haven't done anything yet.
Brilliant.
But what I'm saying
is...
What
did you learn yesterday?
I've learned you're not a generous man. You're a mean bastard, you don't repay...
And that's coming from Steve Merchant.
I'm just saying, as long as I always think if you've learnt something,
Yeah.
then the day's not been wasted.
What have you learned
Someone
yesterday?
famous
What have
said
you
that.
learned yesterday?
It was something you told me about the monkey arm.
Right, yeah. There's scientists have done the first brain robot interface. They've put like 100 electrodes on the part of the cortex that is for your motor system, and they put it on a monkey's brain, and through the power of thought, he learned how to use a robot arm.
Wow.
So just by thought, just like you do your own arm,
Yep.
you know, and it took him a few days, not years. In a few days, this monkey was making this robot arm pick up grapes and put it in his own mouth through the power of thought. Right? Carl went. Did he have his own arms? I went. Yeah. He went. Well, he's lazy then.
Don't you think it's a bit wasted on a chimp? One, what's it doing? All they ever do is eat or chuck shit about. So why give them a decent new robotic arm?
Well, who are you going to give it to?
I just mean give it to something that is going to get more use out of it.
What, a giraffe?
No, something more. If they could link that up to a worm, I'd go, that's good.
Well,
I'd
how
find-
could a worm think to use a robot arm?
Listen to me.
They can't think.
Oh, hang on,
Yeah,
I'd
but
like to
this
know.
is-
I'd like to know how this tiny
How do you
worm-
know? How do you know? What I'm saying is, a worm's never had an arm.
You're a maniac.
I'm
Think
not
what
gonna-
you're saying. You wish a worm had an arm for a day.
No, all I'm saying is, if we're going to faff about here and get animals giving them extra arms, don't...
They
just-
weren't giving a monkey an extra arm. They were testing this theory that they could make the first computer-brain interface. The thought went from the brain through a computer and made this arm work. That's incredible. The upshots are you can really have bionic arms. You could have amputees having perfectly working dexterous limbs.
And your response to that is?
I'd
Give
just
it to
say-
a worm.
I'd just say I'd be more... I'd sort of be fascinated about seeing it more. If they said, look at what the worms wants to do with an arm if it had one.
I honestly don't know how your brain works. I think we should give it to you and see what you do with the arm.
What? I tell you what.
How would
I
a
read.
worm?
Here
How
we
would a
go.
worm? How could a worm have an arm, Carl? It would.
It wouldn't have an arm. The monkey didn't have an arm. It was a robot arm that they'd set up.
Right,
on this-
let me
well,
explain it like this. I wish they'd have picked something else. Maybe not a worm, but they always seem to do the tests on the wrong animals.
No, they do it on the closest thing to the human being they
They've
can.
I'll tell you what I read. Do you know I say I like to learn something every
Yeah.
day and what have you?
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, it was about our worm. They've given it anti-aging cream.
Right.
When have you ever seen an old worm? How do we know if it's any good? I could not tell you the age of a worm. I've seen loads of them. Give it a tortoise.
Play a record.
Bob Dylan, Positively 4th Street.
I actually, Rick, was in Vietnam a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I know I don't know if this was thanks to your campaign, but I did pass somewhere. It was admittedly a European person, but as I passed, they went, "Oi, oi! Karl Pilkington's got a head like a f***ing orange."
That's amazing.
Which is lovely to see.
And
I've
that's
had
in-
it all the way around the world.
That's in Vietnam. What were you doing in Vietnam?
You know, just heard there was a war. Went over to see if that was wrapped up. They finished that a while ago.
So you've been to Vietnam. You went to
Popped down to Cambodia at the same time.
Cuba, yeah, Cambodia, Kenya. I was wondering, would you ever consider going to a holiday destination where you didn't have to have injections in the stomach to get in?
Well, you know what? I am an adventurer by spirit. I'm a sort of Indiana Jones figure, and plus someone was paying for it. We did it. Pardon me. We did it in high class luxury.
you?
There was no slum in it. I felt a bit bad because I was worried that I wouldn't see the real Vietnam. But I did see the real Vietnam from the air-conditioned 4x4 that I was being driven to my 5-star hotel.
And what's it like?
It's great. It's really good. I mean, obviously, you know, the war was a long time ago, so they've got back on the, you know, back on their uppers. I don't know what I mean by that, but anyway,
That's the other way around. If you're on your uppers, isn't
yeah,
it? Yeah.
back on. Anyway, no, it's doing well. A lot of nice people, a lot of generous people. You know, obviously there's poverty.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things over there I think which would really intrigue you, Carl, and I think it's a great shame that you're not more adventurous as a traveller, because I think it would really open your eyes.
You having a laugh? He has about 9 holidays a year.
He goes to the same place, doesn't he? Some rock in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, it's safe. I know
There's
Vietnam's
nothing there.
I know, but I don't sort of... What I've seen of Vietnam, I had a mate who went to somewhere like that. He showed me a picture. I had a picture of him walking round with a bag of locust that had been sold, and that's to eat.
Well, I did actually utter the phrase at one point, "Oh, I think that gecko's repeating on me."
That's what I mean.
So, I mean, I am quite exotic. I don't mind. I tell you what I didn't do, though, and I think I would fascinated to have seen you down there. There's a place in Vietnam, just outside of Hanoi, called Snake Village, right? And it is a long, long tradition in Vietnamese culture of eating snakes. In fact, one of the tourists even said, one of the guides actually said, we will eat anything. And they eat snakes over there, and I'm not just talking about tiny little ones. I mean proper great big mammoth snakes, sometimes even king cobras, which I think may even be endangered in some parts of the world. And anyway, in Snake Village, you go over there. I didn't go because I was just a bit too squeamish. You sit down, they bring a great big snake. You choose it like you would a lobster. They bring you that snake. They sort of give it a bit of a demonstration. Then they slit it open in front of you.
That's disgusting.
The blood dribbles into a cup, and then if you're the guest of honour, they take the still beating heart and they make you drink it from a glass.
Yeah, you see,
That's disgusting.
I've never fancied that.
No.
I've never sort of thought, do you know what? I just think it's not holiday, that. It's like endurance.
Well,
I don't,
I'm not suggesting that you would enjoy that. I'm saying that there are many of these interesting, you know, exotic worlds out there. You just stay closeted in your tiny little world and whinge about everyone else. Oh, and this and that. You've got no real empathy. I mean, I went to some extraordinary places in Vietnam. There's quite a lot of floating villages.
Yeah.
Villages that are actually floating on the water where the fishermen
Well, he's had
live.
trouble with his boiler. There was a big leak in your flat, wasn't there?
but that's fine, looking at stuff like that. All I'm saying is, when it comes to the point when I'm getting hungry, don't be serving me a snake's head. I'd love to see a little floating village. But why is it every restaurant you go in, they go, you know, do you want some crispy ant? Sea urchins? You know, some mate had one of them, and he said, it's sort of alive when you're eating it. You have to hit it on the head to knock it out a bit and eat it before it wakes up again. I don't want a meal where you're sort of having to do that to it. I'm not going to enjoy it, thinking, is it waking up yet? I haven't finished my starter. Oh, it's rolling about a bit. Hit it on the head again.
But this shows your ignorance, Carl, because Vietnamese food is not like that at all, is it? I'm just talking about one particular exotic restaurant.
Strokes, 12:51 on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington. Not done a lot. Maybe you should earn your money as you get to Mondays off for this 2 hours of nonsense.
What are you on about? I've done loads of stuff.
Go on, what?
Slag Suzanne off.
Yeah, brilliant.
First link.
Yeah.
Talks about trannies.
Yeah.
Right.
Same old, same old.
Yeah.
Let's have something new, something
Come on.
fresh.
Well, I've been looking around, right, on the internet for stuff.
Yeah.
On the internet.
Yeah.
Your Bible, where you get all your information about the world and the universe and morality from.
And you know, like, how I always say to you, I don't really read that much of it, I just read the headline,
Perfect.
right?
Yeah.
Anna Nova have sort of nicked that idea to grab you.
Nicked what idea?
Well, to sort of get to the meat straight away at the top. Do you know what I mean? The headline to the story and everything.
What?
Right, these are
But
stories.
the headlines already existed. That was why you thought that was a good
not
idea.
like this, though.
All right.
Headline. Well, these are all headlines, right? Vibrating shoes could stop elderly falling. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, God.
You don't need...
Vibrating shoes could stop elderly falling.
Yeah, that's the story. You don't need to read on. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Right,
could you
because
read on anyway?
Can't be bothered.
Read on anyway.
Well,
Read
you have a look at that in a bit, right?
All right,
See
well,
what's
okay, so what
interesting.
This
Right.
is frustrating radio if you're sitting at home.
No,
well,
but
it's not on. They've turned it off.
If you want to know more, you know where to go. That's what I'm saying. That's what they should do in the news. Get the news done in a
Bong.
minute.
There's a good story about Iraq.
Right.
Bong. Look it up. Look it up on the internet.
Right.
Anna Nova.
Give us another bong.
Bong.
Family sick of living on Butthole Road.
Oh, brilliant. Bong.
Man wears same shoes for 60 years.
Oh, bong.
This isn't that good. Some fella pulls a train with his teeth.
And in lighter news.
I remember that. Triple Donald. This one is very good.
And the last one, man fails to break clothes pegs on face record. She's always good. Well, that's the one I did read on about.
I love that out of all those. That's the one he read on about. Go on then.
Just,
Why is that news? He fails to make a record. So did I today.
I know, yeah.
I failed the long jump record today.
Yeah. Didn't even take part.
No, I was rubbish.
but what are the rules on world records and that?
I don't know if there are rules. There are certain things you can't. I mean, it's the Guinness Book of Records, isn't it? Really, that's the arbiter, isn't it?
Yeah, but is there anything, if you said you wanted to do it, would they say, well, you can't do that?
Yeah, they've stopped some gluttony records. Obviously, things that are in danger. So anything that's illegal, Yeah, anything that's immoral.
Yeah, like that American serial killer that just got discovered.
Yeah.
Having killed 47 women. I don't think he can make that into the Guinness Book of Records.
No, because people would be trying to beat it, won't they?
But there was some other story about a fella eating watches and that. That can't be good for you. So why don't they say, look, don't do that, do something else?
He wanted to stay regular.
Do you know
What
what,
do you
I mean,
mean?
though? I just wondered
What do
if
you mean he
there's
was
any...
eating watches?
He just said he was eating watches. He got about 3 in about a minute.
How did he time it?
Do you know what I mean, though? And then the other thing is, the one that I was reading, the world record with the fellow who's pulling a train with his teeth.
Mm.
Does that make any difference that he's done it with his teeth?
What do you mean?
Well, what difference does it make?
Well, isn't it? It's quite hard to pull a train with your teeth, I imagine.
Well, it's pretty hard to pull a train. All I'm saying is it because he couldn't beat the fella who's pulling it with his hands?
Well,
so you tweak
this
it a
is
bit?
my point. I think there was one bloke with the record for the running backwards 100 metres was sort of like 11.5 seconds. And I was thinking, turn around, you'd probably have a really good go at that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sort of like doing a marathon with a milk bottle on your head. Take the milk bottle off and see how fast you can go, you twat.
But you can just tweak it, like the fella who has done the pegs on the face, right?
Yeah.
His name's Gary Stretch Turner, right?
Right.
So he's sort of cheating already if he's got a stretchy head, right? but
You are, right, you are one of the most stupid humans I have ever met.
well, get me in the book. Yeah? Right? But listen. So Gary Stretch Turner, right? His record is 153 pegs.
Yeah.
He did it again, and he only got 150 on. So he hasn't broke his own record.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, if he tweaked it a bit more, would that make a new record?
What?
Well, if he said, I've got 150 pegs on, but at the same time he's eating a burger.
I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be the,
Or he
the
said-
world record breaker for pegs and eating burgers at the same time.
Yeah, just change it a bit. If you know you're not going to make it, just do something else.
I'm assuming the rules are set at the beginning, Carl. That's
Yeah.
it. That's where they say, right, you're just going to do the pegs thing. You're not going to introduce burgers halfway through, are you? Definitely not. And
Okay.
then they have a go.
I was on one leg, not interested. How many pegs? 150.
Can I just ask very briefly, I was quite interested by the family had to move because they lived on Butthole Road.
Yeah, I quite like that
Now,
one.
I don't know if I've told you before, Rick, where I used to live. I'm not going to tell you the name of the street that I used to live on, because not on air, because my parents still live there and I don't want,
Right.
you know. But I'm going to write it for you now. This is the name, the genuine name of the street I used to live on. Just imagine when you're at school,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
like in class, for instance, in French, you've got to say, you've got to answer where you live.
Yeah.
J'habite, wherever.
Yeah.
That's the name. This is actually the name of the street we lived on.
No, it's
I
not.
swear to God.
That is...
I absolutely right. I could phone my father now and he could confirm that for you. I swear
because he doesn't want
to God. And I'd say that.
What? But listen, do you know what worries me? It's the apostrophe S.
I know.
Because that's blatant.
Yes. Amazing, isn't it?
That is incredible.
imagine how embarrassing
So
that
if
was.
I look that up in the
You
Bristol...
will find that in the Bristol A to Z. I swear to God.
That is really... Why have you never told me that before?
I can't believe I haven't.
That's
I'm
incredible.
still embarrassed now. Do you know, if whenever I have to phone up, if I have to give that address, I always spell it instantly.
Really?
Like, somehow that'll hide it, that'll disguise the name. But it's interesting, my friend Rufus, his parents lived in a place called Fockingham. Right? This is amazing when he was growing up. They lived in Fockingham.
Yeah.
They moved to a village called Fingering-Hoe.
No!
I swear to God.
Really?
Amazing.
Oh, God.
Perhaps you come from an amusing town or street.
Hello,
Why
mate.
not get in touch?
Fingering-Hoe or Fockingham? Well, that's my business.
Well, this family who's sick of living on Butthole Road, right, said the thing that pushed them over the edge was the sign was outside their house, and tourists were always coming, sort of having the picture taken with the pants down, next to the sign.
Oh,
And
no.
that's the thing that...
What's it called? Butthole Road?
Butthole Road, yeah.
Well, that's bad luck, isn't it?
That is bad luck, isn't it? Who named it that, though?
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's not as if they've named it that after they've moved there. They bought the house knowing, oh, there's a lovely house here, so where you live, what road it's on.
Well,
They're not going to go, well, it doesn't matter, look at the house.
Yeah! Yeah!
Well, where am I going? Where am I seeing this
Well, I'll
house?
take you there.
it's on-
I'll take you there. I'll take you there.
Well-
So, you don't need to look. Just don't look at that sign. Just come into that lovely house, isn't it? It is nice, yeah.
Well, my family wants to come later to have a
Well,
look at
just
it.
tell them to, I'll meet them by the bus stop and I'll drive them here. You don't need to, you don't need to know where you're going. You'll just sort of know, won't you? You'll know from then on. Oh, we get letters. Have delivered to me if you want. I'll bring him. I'll bring him round. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That's incredible. But I can't get over that. Where Steve used to live.
That's extraordinary, isn't it? Anyway, if you perhaps live in Tits Avenue,
Yeah.
you know, or
Wanklin Drive.
Wanklin Drive, just get in touch. Let us know. We're not really interested, but it
No.
might fill up 5 minutes. Let's play a record. Let's come back with another of Carl's amazing quizzes.
I'm going to Spunkton later.
If I Was Your Girlfriend by Prince on XFM 104.9.
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington.
Big time. We've had quite a few calls. Greg used to live in a place in South Africa called Arsagay.
Arsagay?
Arsagay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Paul's friend's parents live in Fart Town, just outside Leeds.
Fart time.
Which is nice, isn't it? That's just ridiculous. And Dean used to live in Butts Farm, Hamworth.
Farm?
Yeah. That's obviously, I assume they're free range butts.
Sure.
And not sort of battery farm butts.
That would be horrible.
But, yeah.
Do you think that?
That'd be great to just name a town, wouldn't it?
I think if I was thinking if I was a multi-billionaire, a Bill Gates type figure, I'd like to buy somewhere, like, say, Manchester, and just rename it.
Whinging on the Wold.
Whinging on the Wold, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Make them work Mondays.
Exactly. They'd be obliged to that would have to be what it's called.
Yeah.
That's the rules. It'd be like mayor.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be great as mayor, wouldn't you? You want to be mayor of Chinatown, don't you?
I'd like to be mayor of Chinatown. It seems to me that there's not a great deal to do.
No.
Because it's not really a town.
No, exactly. But
just a
who can we
novelty
talk
street.
to about that? Who can go and say, look, you've got to stop calling this a town? Because at best it's a novelty street
Well,
with some slippy pavements near restaurants.
I actually got stopped the other day by 2 tourists who said, "Do you know the way to Chinatown?" And I really wanted to say to them, it's a disappointment.
It's not a town.
Seriously, it's not worth it. Pop in a record shop. Do something else.
Yeah.
Pop in Garfunkel's. Have some delicious sausage and mash. But you'll get to Chinatown and you'll go, this is not a town.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, have you got a town hall? Got a betting shop?
Yeah.
Not really a town.
I don't think you can build a town entirely out of restaurants. That's not enough. You need more stuff.
Oh dear. A lot of old people I've noticed there, Carl. Aren't there?
Let's leave that, eh?
What?
We'll leave it. Leave
What?
the old...
Leave what?
Just got John, who's just emailed in. He said my secondary school was on a street simply called Bell End.
That's Bell End, really?
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
There's a road in Cricklewood somewhere called Clitterhouse Drive.
Clitterhouse.
Yeah, I don't think you can really get that. You can't get them on that. That's fine.
No, that's fine.
No, that guy's just having a laugh, just taking the mick, get a lot of that sort of thing. There's a place in America, apparently. Ben's emailed this in. There's a place in America called, My Anus.
My anus?
Yeah.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. My anus, yes, I have heard of that. That's unlucky.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Where do you live, my anus?
I've got a letter for you. Where shall I?
Where shall I send
it? Alright, don't get cheeky.
Anyway, just rather than reading out the A to Z, right? Are we doing Rockbusters answers?
Oh! Yeah. Go on then.
Right,
Listen, this has got Chris Moyles, The Breakfast Show, on Radio 1. This sort of stuff.
well, listen,
Go on.
have we got a winner, Steve? Did
We
you
have. I'll check that in a minute.
Alright,
Yeah, can't
alright,
bother,
well,
so-
you find a good winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rockbusters clues. The first one was, this Teletubby has got
No.
mitts.
Well, we know this one.
We've done that. That
yeah.
was Police.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
rubbish. You ruined it.
Right, the second one, I'm saving that money to buy condoms.
Too easy, Johnny Cash.
That was Johnny
Yeah.
Cash.
Rubbish.
And the third one was, when you're making bread, add a bit of colour for a change and sort of, change the colour of it.
Right.
Right? That was Dido. They got that. Give us a winner.
Well, this is, the reason I've given this person the prizes is just because she's from Switzerland.
Sure.
She's listening in Geneva in Switzerland, so, I mean, good luck to Tina. And she wins those prizes.
Who did she want to win the war?
Don't know, I don't think she had an opinion.
Really? You sure?
Yeah.
They say that, but I reckon they wanted us to win, really.
think so?
I reckon so.
Do you think that was true of all the wars? They were always on our side, really.
I'd get her to just, if she's still home, who did most Swiss people, maybe sort of like over 50, want to win the war?
The
England or
recent war
Germany?
or the original war?
The Second World War.
The best war.
Yeah,
The big one.
the main
The main
one.
one, yeah.
But, so just as a poll, in her opinion, so ask people over sort of like 50 or 60, right, just quickly do it in the next 10 minutes. Who did they really, are they neutral, but who did they really want to win?
Yeah.
England,
Yeah, we know you were neutral, but
yeah,
it's
but who do
50
you
odd
want?
years
England or
later.
Germany? We come up with great games, don't we?
What are you worried about the beetle? Working hard. It's eating what
Because
it likes.
this is the same as getting in foreigners to make cheap trainers, to me.
let the beetle do what it wants. I mean, how long do they live? I read the other day about some elephant beetle. They get about 4 months.
Right.
What do you think of this, right? This elephant beetle in the paper the other day.
Yeah.
About the size of a gerbil.
Right.
Massive. Odd-looking thing.
Mm.
The bigger, the uglier it is.
Why are you looking at me?
No. In a way, that is the way it works, isn't it? I think size is a big deal, isn't it? In a way, because
This is interesting.
well, we better being smaller, aren't we?
Well, it depends.
What do you mean?
Well, no, if you're afloat in the Atlantic Ocean and it's 4 degrees centigrade, it'd be better to be fat.
I didn't really mean like that. I just meant in terms of like Steve. I've mentioned he's taller than us.
Yeah.
He's always ill.
Well, that's not to do with his height.
I just think bigger people. It's like that Zhang Lung or whatever, the world's tallest man. He's always sneezing and that. He's always got something up with him because he's not meant to be that big. Small fellas, you never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room. They never get ill, do they? You never see one getting run over because they're too small, so you don't hit them. So it's. I think size. If you're too big,
You never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room.
so the
Well,
thing,
maybe they're there.
no, they're not. They're not. So what I'm saying to you is this beetle that's massive, size of a gerbil.
Yeah, but it's still. But a gerbil's small. What do you mean?
No, this is a big one.
This beetle is massive. It lives 4 months.
Lives 4 months. Been found in a banana crate. Right.
Right.
It's over here. They're upset for it because it's been in this banana crate for it could be like 3 months. And the whole purpose of the elephant beetle is to have it away. That's all it wants in its life. It's only got 4 months, and it loves having it away with another beetle. And it hasn't had it. So they found it in this crate, and it looked distraught. They said it was showing all signs of like desperately wanting to have it away. It was
Well, when you can wank yourself to death with 6 legs, you leave anything alone for 3 months in a dark crate.
Just eating a load of bananas.
Yeah, eating bananas and whacking away
well, anyway,
6 times at exactly the same moment.
Its feet go apparently.
I bet it does.
What do you mean its feet go?
That's a sign. When they got it out, they got the experts in. They said, "What is this? We've got a beetle here the size of a gerbil." They said, "We'll come round." They had a look.
I'd say, well, how big's the gerbil?
That's just scientists HQ. There's their hotline. You can phone
come
that.
round. Right, you'll need a gerbil-sized box to bring that round in. Come round. Ring operator. Can I have people in charge of giant gerbil beetles? I'll put you through. Hello, gerbil beetle people. I think I've got one. Come round.
Anyway, its feet were going.
What do you mean its feet were going? Do you mean it was dancing like Lionel Blair, or it had bunions?
I haven't seen one, but
There's a surprise.
I just read that that they were saying, yeah, we know what's the problem here. Look at its legs go, and they go up and down a lot, and it means that it wants like a partner. It's dying for it, and they were saying they only live 4 months, and it looks about 3.5 months old. This one.
How could they tell that?
The problem is they haven't got any of these beetles here,
Right.
so they've had to, instead of flying it back out,
Yeah.
they've gone over there to try and find one to bring it back because of the stress and that it's had, and it's older.
Couldn't you put a gerbil in a beetle outfit?
Hang on a minute.
I don't mean a little wig holding a guitar.
But I don't know the full story in that. I just know that they found this beetle.
It just sounds unlikely that people would be this concerned about
I
one
agree.
beetle, and it's only got half a month left. It's got 2 weeks left. It's got to have some sex. We have got to give this beetle some sex because, god damn it, it's a beetle. What was found on a boat with some bananas?
I
It
don't know
deserves
why-
sex before it dies.
I don't know why he cares more than a blood-sucking beetle than a chimpanzee.
I just can't
suddenly.
believe people are flying out to Japan or
Why
wherever
do
they
you
come
care
from.
so much about beetles all of a sudden?
only because they were mentioned, and I just thought, whilst we're on the beetle tip, let's discuss them.
What do you mean his legs were going as well?
That's what they do. That shows signs of like it needs a woman. It's never had one before, which is weird. That's what I was going to say. It knew even though it didn't. And you're talking about me brain and my ears and all that. There's an example of how the beetle's not in charge. There's something else going on in its
Well,
body.
that's called instinct.
Yeah.
But that's true in a beetle, but it shouldn't be true in a human being.
But it is though, isn't it? Otherwise, how did the first baby survive? How are we here now? Because you look at babies and they're spoilt rotten. I'm sick of it the way they don't do anything for ages. They wouldn't survive. A kangaroo comes out, it's hopping around in about 2 hours. Babies, they sit there for months.
So there's a very good reason for that. I've told you that.
It needs its mother. If that was in a banana crate, it would have given up after about a week. What
No,
I'm
a
saying
couple
is,
of days. It would have died in a couple of days, probably.
yeah. Whereas this beetle, he didn't know the outcome. He didn't know if he's ever going to see this partner. Yet, even though he's been in this crate with bananas for 3.5 months, it still wants to have it away. Now, if I was that, I'd be like, I'm not in the mood anyway.
Why do you equate yourself with the beetle? This is what I don't understand.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying how that's where nature's good, and I think the beetles are better than us in a way.
We have got our brain, we've got our creativity, we've got our cognition, we've got all those things. That's our forte. That's where we kick in. Thought, introspection, art. I agree. I could not live in a crate full of bananas for 2 and I admit that. I admit that if my mum had given birth to me and then dropped me immediately in a bin, I wouldn't have survived.
Yeah.
But I don't see your point. And I understand that Beatles can do that, and I can't. But do you know what? The Beatles, they couldn't have written and directed The Office. So let's call it even.
Hey, all this talk of the Beatles, right, has suggested to me, let's have some more music. Here's the Rolling Stones.
Oh! Well, that's about it. This is a test transmission for the Enemy Radio. I've enjoyed it. I think Steve's had a blast. He's got his hat on.
Yeah, I'm as happy as Larry, mate. Just pleased that I've done it all for free. Yeah. Whereas Carl will be cashing a sweet, sweet check.
I know. It looked like looking after number one after all we've done for him.
I didn't even realise there was an opportunity to ask for money because I understood it to be a favour, so it didn't even occur to me to get my agent.
Always ask. Always ask.
No, because I'm doing it as a favour. If you said to me, "Can you come around and help me move house?" I would do it. I would not presume you're going to pay me for it.
Debt of gratitude. See, one day maybe I'll need the Enemy. One day I'll call up the Enemy, just like you call up scientists and go, I've got a beetle the size of a gerbil, they say, come round. I might call them up and I go, oh, what's the drummer from Dodgy doing? They go, come round.
But where does that debt of gratitude stop then? Because at what point do you say, well, I'll have some money, please? When I get a bill from British Gas, what will I do then? Will I just say redirect this to Enemy? Because a little debt of gratitude. Sammy Jacobs, the fellow who runs NME Radio, send the bill to him, please, British Gas, because he'll sort me out. No, he'll go, what are you talking about? That's not my bill. Sort it out yourself. And that's what I'm saying. The world moves on money. I make money to pay the bills. It's not for me. Sometimes I never see it. Doesn't even touch my hands. It goes in the bank, out the other way. Doesn't even stop. There's always people taking money off me for this, that and the other. And I'm not moaning about that. But all I'm saying is... That's
well, I know this and that costs you money, but why are you paying for the other?
Business, innit? Alan Sugar he'd say you're mad, you two. He'd say you're stupid. What are you working for free? What is this? Charity? Well, it isn't. He'd sack you two. He'd say, Carl, you're hired.
I would love to see you on The Apprentice. What would Carl be like on The Apprentice?
Wow, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Well, firstly, he's not a team player.
He's not a team player. No, he'd just go out getting his own money and say and not share it with anyone. So that's number one.
Joking.
That's number one. 2, you wouldn't want to do it. You'd say, well, why am I doing it? For that, I've got bills to pay.
Do what?
Well, exactly. Whatever he asked you to do.
No, it's a task, isn't it? And I wouldn't go on there.
Well,
anyway,
treat this is like a task.
Well, okay, here's a task right now. Last night on The Apprentice, they were doing interviews.
Oh, don't tell me anything because I don't know who's in it. I
won't. All I'll say is that one of the interviewers says, and it's an old interviewing trick when you're working in business. They say, "I've got a lovely luxury pen here, right? Here's a classic old Bic biro, right? Now you've got to sell that to me now, right? Sell it to me now. How would you sell it to me, right?"
So this is a pen shop.
No, it's a test, right, to see how well you can sell something, okay?
Yeah, but...
Doesn't matter what it is. In this instance, it's a cheap pen, right?
No, but
sell it to me. Tell me the virtues of that pen.
But
Go.
Have you come to me or have I come to you?
No, what do you mean?
You're selling me that pen.
It's a task. You've got to show us how you would sell a pen to us. What's good about... Okay, tell me what's good about that pen.
Right, go. Sell me the pen. You're on my door, right? You're a pen seller.
So I've knocked on your
door. You've knocked on my door, you're selling me a pen.
All right.
Go.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm not interested. What you
you don't know what I'm selling yet.
Okay, well, what are you selling?
Don't get nasty.
I'm not getting nasty. I'm just saying, do you like to write much? Do you do much
writing?
I
do some writing,
I'm a
writer,
yeah. Interesting. How do you do that?
Computer, well, you said we're a processor, computer.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks very much, goodbye.
No, but hang on a minute. Just, do you ever use a pen?
Sometimes I use pens, yeah, but I got loads of pens, thanks. I got a really nice pen here, beautiful, classic.
Looks like an expensive fountain pen.
It's an expensive fountain pen, my grandfather gave it to me. It's,
so that's quite a special pen. It sounds like, I mean, it is a lovely pen and everything, but the problem is, when you go out and about, there's a danger that you could lose that.
That is very true, but I mean, I don't really take pens.
Have you
when
seen
I'm
these,
out and
sir? Can I interest you in
Just
some
looks
of
like
these,
a cheap, tatty old pen, mate.
Sometimes you just want a pen that does the job, and this pen does that job. Do you want to buy some?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Well, because I just told you I've got a great pen. I've got a great pen already, and I don't see why I need that pen. It's cheap and it's tacky and
Well,
it's
you're
no
saying
use
it's
to me.
cheap. Do you know how cheap?
How cheap is it?
Well, it depends how many you want.
Well, let's just say, for the sake of argument, I want 50 of them.
Yeah, I can do that.
What kind of
How
deal would you
much?
do for me?
£8.
£8 for 50 of those pens. I can get them for about a penny down the market.
Sorry, Carl, you're selling 50 pens for £8. How much do they cost you? Just want to make sure this is a good business venture for you, otherwise it's pointless. How much do they cost you to buy?
I got them really cheap.
But how much?
How much did I say you can have them for?
£8 for 50.
I paid £5 for 50. So
Really? Wait, this is. I'll have. Can I have them for £5 because I'm a mate?
you can have 25 for 50.
No, well, no. If you got 50 pens for £5,
I wouldn't do this as a living. Anyway, that's the thing.
Carl, can you get me 50 pens for £5 then?
50 pence for £5.
Yeah.
It's not worth it, mate.
Well, no, I'm a mate. Just you don't want to make a profit out of me, do you?
It's not worth it. I'm trying to run a business there. I've got bills to pay.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to write something. I'm going to close the door in your face.
No, mate, you don't want a pen.
No.
Fine. Sometimes you've got to know when to cut off and move on. And
So that's what
I
you'd
do.
say to Sir Alan, is that you always give up? When someone says no, you give up.
I'll say I met him. He just wasn't having it, Sir Alan. So he didn't want any pens. If you don't want any pens, you're not going to buy them.
But you're a salesman, you've got to persuade me that I need a pen.
But what
Everyone
you said
needs
about-
pens.
But what are you saying about the other fellow that came out of well, just lurking behind him, but came out of the shower, and I went, oh, I'll have 50 pence for £5. What did you say to him? He said, not interested.
Yeah, because it all got a bit dodgy. I don't know who this person was and that, and he just wanted him at the going rate. What sort of a businessman would it be? For me, to have got the pens for 50 quid, 50 pens for how much? 8. You're fired. Stick it up your ass.
Oh, we're going to
Put your fingers in your mouth like this, Carl. Right? Put it apart like that. Put it apart.
Alright.
Now just say bucket and spade.
No, with your
No,
fingers in
put
your
your
mouth.
fingers like that and just say bucket and spade.
Bucket and spade.
No, don't do
keep your
that.
fingers in your mouth when you say it.
Fuck it.
Oh, Carl,
Oh,
play a
that's
record.
outrageous, Carl.
Smashing Pumpkins, Untitled Mix FM 104.9. I just got to tell you something, Steve. Remember, at my birthday party, my girlfriend had bought me one of those arcade games. You put money in a pub.
Oh, it's a
And-
quiz machine, though.
Quiz
isn't it?
machine, yeah, touch the screen. And we're all playing, but Steve, with his general film knowledge, people were getting like 100,000 points and getting through, right? Steve got something like 8 million.
Right, listen, I got the top score on a movie trivia quiz game, right? Who's the geek now?
Yeah.
All right, Carl? Hello.
No, but it was impossible. And I tried it, and I for like months after, I just thought I've just got to knock him off the top. And I did it with all the other categories, and I was best at rock. Let's say that. But by no means is the gap between a friend of mine and a friend of yours, Johnny Camden, the lovely Irish comedian, came round last night.
Yeah.
Had a couple of goes. He got something like 30 million.
That's mental.
He was
That's
just
madness.
yeah. In fact, you're right, because Johnny bought this comic, right? He loves Doctor Who, and he bought this comic, and Steve, he left it there, and Steve got a post-it note on every page wrote geek.
Yeah.
Johnny gets it home, reads it on the tube, and there's geek written on every page. That's the sort of vicious man Steve is. He can hand it out. Do you know what I mean? Imagine him calling you a geek. What must that feel like, to be called a geek by Steve Merchant? What do you think, Carl?
Every week he has a go at me anyway.
What are
Yeah.
you having a go at you? You're having a go at me
for the
every
last
week.
3 weeks.
What?
You've been having a go at me.
I have not had a go. You've always had a go at me.
You've always said to me, what do I look like? And what do you expect me to do? Lie?
Oh, he's done you again, Steve!
No, I'm not getting
He's
into this
done
because
you
a young
again.
lad called up before and said, "Oh, have a go at Steve again. These looks." And it's not like a game. I'm not like coming in here every week and wanting to make you look, come across as an ugly bloke. I don't need to do that.
He's done you up.
I can't. It's
He's
like,
done you
Is this
up.
because of the Gaylord stuff?
No, it's
That you're
just,
having a go at me again?
Oh.
it's just that you had a go at me before.
I didn't have
was
a go
having
at you at all. I was talking to Ricky. I haven't had a word. I haven't spoken a word
It's
to
in
you.
your eyes.
Is this why you're in an ugly mood? A bad mood, a generally grim mood. Is it because like you just think I'm going to have a go at you?
I don't know what it is. When I get here, you're all right, and then as soon as you come in here, you change.
I haven't done anything. What are you talking about? You're paranoid. I haven't said anything, mate. I've
I'm
drawn a
keeping
little
at it.
picture of you here, but I've
I'll
not
tell you
said
what.
anything.
What we need now is a song for the lovers. I
Oh,
want to tell
Rick,
you now.
please.
This has been one of my favourite songs for about 20 years. It's by David Bowie. Now David Bowie's had his phases, and I liked his glam stuff. And Tin Machine went off. And he's always sort of there on and off, right? But this song is off Space Oddity, and it's called Letter to Hermione. And I don't know why he stopped writing songs like this, because this is probably one of the most beautiful songs ever recorded. And I know Steve agrees with me on this.
I do indeed. Rick, can I just kiss and make up with Carl?
No, that is...
No, let me just kiss my kiss.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Next week you'll be the same again. It doesn't mean anything. It's like saying sorry.
Kiss on the lips.
Go on, he's...
Carl.
Get
I've never... Carl has gone
use tongue.
a absolute shade of purple, straining not to have merchants...
There's no point, Steve.
No.
There's no point.
No, just shake and make up.
Shake what, Rick?
There you go. All friends, sit down. That's lovely. That's a lovely moment. It's XFM 104.9, and this is Letter to Hermione by David Bowie. It's beautiful. Letter to Hermione by David Bowie. Wow. After that, I think he wrote The Laughing Gnome.
I know, it's just... the thing about David Bowie, I feel the same way. It's that he's clearly a great, rock musician, great fun records. I saw him at Glastonbury, absolutely fantastic entertainer. But his songs have never gripped me. They never got me at the heart,
Except that one.
Except that one. That's
Yeah,
the first one I've
yeah.
ever heard of his, which really got
Oh,
me in the
good.
gut.
Yeah.
Amazing lyrics.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Carl, what were your thoughts?
It's all right.
Yeah, you're a poet, Carl. Play something else, then.
Blur. Coffee and TV. Good to hear that one again.
Yes, good.
For that, Radiohead, True Love Waits. Wow. Steve, it's time for my world-famous film review.
People love it.
Yeah.
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 How can I just ask, before
Go on.
you crack on with the film review, I notice you often do films that people have already seen.
Well, you see, that's what I mean. That's why I think your film review failed, because people didn't know what film you're talking about. They hadn't seen it.
Yes.
See, there was mine. I picked ones they've seen.
Sure. Because a lot of people would say that the benefit of a film review was the fact that they hadn't seen it yet, so they were going to make up their mind based on
I
that
don't know.
review.
I don't know who'd say that.
I prefer Rickers.
Okay.
See?
All right,
Hey.
Carl. See, there you are again, being nasty to me.
No, he's got a choice.
All right. Anyway, so my point is that how would you hope people would use your reviews? Right?
However they want.
Okay.
Really.
Okay.
So.
Would you hope that they'd maybe seen the film but they hadn't yet made up their mind?
Whether they liked it or
Whether
not.
they liked it or
well,
not.
this is up to them. This is this is for everyone. It's easy.
So if someone said, because I think, was it, you did, one of your most famous ones, I think, was One for the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
And that came out, I think, in 1975.
Yeah.
So maybe some people saw it in 1975, haven't yet made up their mind as to what they thought
Yeah.
of it.
Now this put them straight and what
Sure.
to look for next time maybe.
Okay.
Now ready? Ricky Gervais film review.
Sure.
Review. Right. Chosen Rain Man.
Rain Man, okay. Now this has been on TV quite a few times and it was a multiple Oscar winner.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, okay, right. Rain Man, it's got Tom Cruise in it,
Yep.
and he's alright, he's normal, but he finds out he's got a brother who's a bit mad. Dustin Hoffman is doing it, right? And it's meant to be. He's all weird, but he's meant to be, so it's good acting. Now, he needs to keep his brother, but they don't want him to have a brother, and he doesn't remember a lot, but he dropped him in the bath and burnt him when he was little, clumsy idiot. But then he finds out he can make a bit of money, so they get the same suits, and they go bet two for good, well, because he's got special powers. So he can know what the roulette. He wins that, and he drops some toothpicks. He knows how many there are, and he recognises the waitress. He just flew through the book. He's got all his football cards. Don't put them out of order. Don't go in the telephone box with him. He smells, and get him back in time for Jeopardy or watch it. Anyway, then they slap his head and get worried. Qantas don't crash, so he's got all that, and in the end he doesn't. I don't think, but at least they've met each other.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, Rain Man, a film about autism, which is strangely appropriate, I think, when you're reviewing it.
Anyway,
What would you give it out of 10?
oh 9.
Okay. Thanks very much for that. Were useful? Yeah? Have you seen the film before?
No, I will now.
Okay, jolly good. Well, excellent.
New Order, 60 miles an hour on XFM 104.9. Well, quarter of an hour to go.
Yep.
We've still got your song for the ladies.
Song for the ladies coming up. Time now, though, Rick, for Under the Covers. You've got me covered. Cover Me Bad. Which is when we play a cover version of
Yeah.
a well-known hit.
Just see the sort of effort that goes into the show.
There's a lot of work.
We've learned something. We've learned the only bird with a penis is the swan.
Swan.
We've had an interesting anecdote where he saw Orville.
I saw Orville.
Yeah.
Keith Harrison
We've
Orville.
had a film review, Rain Man.
Informative.
award-winning film I reviewed today.
Yes.
So,
That was an Oscar winner, Carl.
ants. There's been things about ants.
Ants never sleep.
Yeah.
If you missed the beginning, you won't know that fact.
We've had various songs
Music.
and that.
Beautiful.
So, carry on, Steve.
Cover me up. The White Stripes, everyone's raving about them, Rick.
Sure.
They are an exciting band, and this is their cover of the Dolly Parton classic, Jolene.
Love it already.
White Stripes and their version of Jolene. What did you make of it, Rick?
I loved it. I want to ask Carl a question, though. Because Carl, sometimes in awe of this newfangled world that we live in. What do you think of the scenario? What do you think is going on there? Because it's a bloke singing to a woman, begging her not to take his man. What do you think's going on there?
Say again.
Well, that's a bloke there singing.
Yeah,
Innit?
to his wife Jolene.
Right. Were you listening to the lyrics, or?
You see, I got
What
mixed
do
up
you mean?
anyway. I thought it was about that one about the person who chucks himself off a bridge. So I was thinking more about that than listening to that one.
Right, listen.
Well, go on it.
Right. Jolene, I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. You flaming locks of auburn hair, even though you can, don't. He's all I've got. You're a beautiful woman. Don't take my man, because I can't compete with you, right?
Yeah.
What do you think's going on there, though? Because, you know, it's Dolly Parton singing it. We know what's going on. They're fighting over the same man, aren't we?
Yeah.
What do you think's going on when a bloke's singing it to Jolene? What do you think of the scenario there?
That's one of them names, isn't it? That could be a bloke's name. It's like Leslie.
Oh, Christ. Okay, sorry, it was a...
I wish you'd not asked him that question. It's so exhausting.
I love him.
Do
I
ants,
love Carl.
do ants sleep, Carl? Which bird's got a cock?
Swan.
A swan. Okay, nice one. Listen, I want to play that song for various people who've emailed and phoned in saying they want requests. We don't really play requests on the show. We'd like to mention them anyway. Matt Barr, Magic Thighs. That's not Matt Barr's Magic Thighs.
No.
That's Matt Barr and Magic Thighs.
Yeah.
Kieran in Dublin, Stuart in Hackney, Lisa and Alison in Crouch End, and Glenn in Crystal Palace, who was phoning up with a nice message earlier. All of you, thanks for listening and thanks for enjoying it. Sorry we didn't play your requests, but tune in next time. It'll be fun. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say, really.
Here's tragic.
What's tragic?
What did you want me to say about that song?
Just your opinion. Your own opinion was fine.
it's sad.
In fact, your own opinion is better than anything I could really hope for. Without doubt. Whenever I ask you a question,
You constantly surprise us. Carl.
yeah, it's wonderful. So only ever carry on telling the truth, carry on saying exactly what's on your mind, and I think this could become a great.
You're like a man who was frozen in Victorian era and has been reawoken and he's kind of discovering the world. Some things make sense, other things
Yeah.
don't. It's beautiful. It's
As
really
opposed to one that was made in a castle in Victorian times, like Steve.
nice. Oh, that's just.
Oh, I've joined in with Carl.
I can't believe it. Rick. I
I'm
thought you were on
sorry.
my side.
Yeah, no, it was irresistible though, wasn't it? I'm really sorry. Should we play a record? Right, I'm afraid that is about it from us.
Absolutely. I always leave the ladies with the song, Rick, as you know. And the song for the ladies this week, again, it comes from the free giveaway CD that comes with this excellent little magazine called Comes With a Smile. And there's always something interesting.
How are you spelling
I've played the Mull Historical Society before. This is a track. It says it's just a demo, which is, I don't know why. If they've been picked up, it's outrageous. They're called Sloan, and this is called Pretty Together. See you next time.
Goodbye.